Thank you.
Good morning. It's a very good morning around here. We are so happy and delighted to be with you today that we're whispering sweet I love yous to each other in the microphone, and we're going to continue to do it. It's I love you to this team. I love you to the ScreenJunkies. I love you to the world, and I love you to every single person that has contributed to our GoFundMe account in support of women in film. Yes, this is my happy dance. We're going to have more on that much later, including calling out the hero of my life, my new best friend, Laura. When are we having coffee? But first, let's get to the news. You guys, lots of things happening. MoviePass wants to make a play to be the next Rotten Tomatoes. What does that even mean? We'll tell you here in a minute. Infinity War is breaking records already. Much more. Big announcement. Lots of things. But let's start with Infinity Wars.
Much more. Big announcement.
Big announcement.
Much more.
All the big, all the words, all the things. Stay till the end of the show.
We gotta get rid of all these cars. Monorail.
If you don't stay till the end of the show, someone will literally get shot.
Me.
Infinity War.
The internet doesn't want that. They thirst over Joe too much. Dude, you could get anything if you ransom Joe.
Give me back my
true.
Joe.
Give me back my Joe.
Stretch goals.
Stretch goals I get kidnapped?
Yeah.
No, stretch
definitely.
goals.
We did that at the Oscars a couple years ago.
We will unlock you from the cage that we're about to put you in after this program.
Yay.
Once we talk about the fact that Fandango has released information that tells us something that both surprises and does not surprise me. It amazes, and yet it seems so right. Avengers Infinity War is outselling the last 7 Marvel Cinematic Universe movies combined in pre-sales on Fandango. That includes Black Panther, Thor Ragnarok, Spider-Man Homecoming, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Doctor Strange, Captain America Civil War, and Ant-Man. All of those movies together in pre-sales. It's outpacing that, Dan. Mm-hmm. Damn. That's some box office.
That is.
That's some box office for Disney. What do we think that this... I want you to make a prediction right now.
Oh, boy.
What is this movie going to open at?
Let's see. Black Panther opened at over about 200 and something million, right? I mean, probably about 250, between 240 and 250, I would imagine. It's going to be a huge opening, which we knew. The next weeks will determine how it ends up placing as far as, there's already people saying, like, is it going to beat Force Awakens? Like, it depends. If it's an amazing movie that people have to see 8 times, then maybe, but I don't think, honestly, I don't think so. But it's going to be a massive opening, and then we'll see where it goes from there.
I mean, like I said, to me, part of me is not surprised, but still, that is an astounding number. What are your feelings?
I mean, Marvel's played this right the whole time, and obviously we're Marvel shills. So I have to say that contractually.
Yeah.
Disney shills.
Oh, yeah. Excuse me. Yes, Disney
shills.
If you guys, can I pause us for a minute to address that in a somewhat real way, but not really? It's insane. Because if you guys have listened to any of the reports about how Disney does their business and how much they are paying the people that actually do work for them, that some of them have to subside on food stamps and live in their car just like Walmart people, that you would realize how crazy it is to indicate that we are taking money from Disney. They would never be willing to give it to us.
Yeah, we don't take any money from Disney. It's purely in gifts.
Now, let me be clear.
They got me a car.
We would take money from Disney, but they're not giving it to us.
I am not for sale. I am not for sale.
I kid. That part's a joke.
You may take my body, but never my mind.
But, I mean, listen, they also don't need us because they are making consistently very, very successful, and let's be, in all honesty, good movies.
Exactly, and that's my point. They've said that, number one, I mean, if you could say, like, in comedy, there's the opener and there's the feature, who's supposed to be very, very funny, but he's only supposed to be there for a second to set the table for the headliner. Black Panther has made a great feature act, even though he's the big man right now. He's made a great feature act for what they've been building up for almost, 17 years now?
It feels like it.
Yeah.
I think it's only
2000, right?
It's only
2008.
2008.
10
So 2008. 10 years. They've been building up
Just about a decade.
about a decade for this moment, for everybody to meet Thanos. So the fact that it's selling like this, it's truly what we've been waiting for.
The way you phrase that makes me want it to be a musical. Like, this is what we've been waiting for. It's the introduction of that.
Let me ask you.
It's a big song.
When you're a Cree, you're a high flying.
I want to expand on this club metaphor. Who was the host? Which movie was the MC?
I mean, you know what? Iron Man is like the black comedy show MC.
Okay.
Does a lot of time in between comics.
Okay.
Very much in control of the show. Might be more of a star than the headliner of the show.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I think Iron Man is that.
Which movie was the pre-recorded "Welcome to the Club"? Please turn off your phones and respect the comedians.
Iron Man 2? Can that be that?
Okay, yeah. All right, we're done here. I'm happy. I'm satisfied.
It's really, Joe, like for me, I got to admit, we talk about this all the time. It's easy to sort of burn out a little bit in certain respects because you're just thinking about it all the time. But I can't help but be swept up in this type of excitement. It makes me want to, we're going to go see the screening so that we can review the film. But then I will also go to that opening night because just to be in that room feels so good.
Well, to be discovering that stuff with all your friends who have been waiting for it the same amount of time as you have.
Yeah. I'm excited because full disclosure, I will not be here the week that Avengers opens. I'm taking a week to go home to Arkansas, but I'm excited because we already bought our tickets, and I'm actually I will be going on opening night, like the Thursday night 10 o'clock screening in Arkansas. I'll be experiencing it with everybody else for the first time, and I'm very much looking forward to it because I do the same thing you do. The last two episodic Star Wars movies, I've gone opening night because there's an energy to that with these big movies. Sometimes they let you down, sometimes they don't. But there's a buzz and an energy to these big movies, and when you go on opening night, or now it's Thursday night with a crowd, and I mean there's just this kind of electric thing
and you
can't get it anywhere else. You don't get it at a critic screening, and you don't get it watching it at home. That I love, and so I'm actually very excited to experience the movie for the first time in that kind of setting and in that environment.
Me too, and it's one of the reasons that at Comic-Con I always make sure to go into some of because you were always working at Comic-Con, but I always make sure to go into one or two panels if I can and sit because I just want that feeling.
You just want to hear people be happy and scream and like things.
Yeah.
It's well, and sort of to that point, it's there's a moment every now and then where I think the other day I was like, oh God, it's opening in like 2 or 3 weeks, and it's interesting to sort of take that moment and remember that it's not just, oh, Marvel's doing a big movie and here it comes and here's how much it's probably going to make, but then to also remember 10 years ago when Samuel L. Jackson said the word Avengers on a big screen, and I lost my mind.
Right.
Blood poured out of every hole in my head, and I just ran around in circles with everyone I knew, and we were high-fiving kids that had just won a dodgeball game, and and all of a sudden, here we are. We've done Avengers, and now they're hitting. I remember they teasing us with Thanos at Avengers, and you're like, what? How did they top Avengers? And they roll out Thanos, and now here we are. It's kind of cool to reconnect with fan me from 10 years back to sort of respark that.
I mean, it's been it's been a bunch of years since, he's hanging out with a dude with a bunch of fingers,
Yeah.
It's years since that. So he's been sitting on that chair for a while. He's got to stand up and stretch his legs and punch Captain America.
He has to get around a little bit. And I think that they've done a good, I've stayed away from a lot of the marketing in the last couple of weeks because we're so close to the movie that I'd rather go in as fresh as I if I can be surprised, I'd like to be surprised.
I usually watch that first trailer and then that's kind of it.
And then you just stop. I mean, usually we have to keep watching it, but how did I get out of that?
Because we stopped reacting to every TV spot for our own sanity.
Yeah.
And for yours, because we love you. You know what else we do? More on Avengers, more on the things, Infinity War, more things.
Do it.
30 Rock, which is a show that this is the one revival, I think, that I would just be delighted about, 100% enthusiastically on board with no questions at all, because that's how much I love that show, as long as it was the right creators involved. So this is via the Hollywood Reporter Jenna Maroney herself, Jane Krakowski, said that, quote, a revival would be a dream come true when asked about it. We all had the greatest time on the show. There's definitely been talk and conversations. Earlier this month, NBC Entertainment Chairman Bob Greenblatt spoke about the possibility of bringing it back, which I'm sure they are. You're NBC, and wouldn't you like to have that back now?
Why think of a new show?
Well, you know the thing about 30 Rock wasn't necessarily a massive ratings hit for them either, but so it'd be interesting. But he said, I'd say to Tina, hey, you think some more 30 Rock makes any sense? And that's exactly how he said it. And she'd say, I don't know, maybe. So that's about as undefinitive as we could possibly get from all of those quotes.
And then she winked and used her, which credit card does she shill?
American Express?
American Express.
Don't say it till they pay us.
Oh no.
Yeah, no, she's financing the show on the card.
Yeah.
That would be the last episode of the revival show. Is that Tina Fey like uses that card, swipes it, and winks at the camera.
Liz Lemon.
Credits. Yeah, Liz Lemon goes bloop. And winks.
I don't know. A series.
Lemon.
Maybe this is a hot take on this non-story, but I believe that it'd be better as a movie because we could explore very succinctly what Liz Lemon is doing now. Liz Lemon is so big that she gets to do credit commercials. It's the whole meta thing of Tina Fey because the whole thing is about Tina Fey's experience on Saturday Night Live. So we can do her experience now as a woman who occasionally makes movies. She's big enough to do whatever she wants. Liz Lemon in that stage of life, still being neurotic.
That's fascinating.
That could be interesting for about an hour and 40 minutes, not a whole series. And it would take the same amount of money to launch a series as it would to make a small movie, make your little nut that you're going to make off of it, make your $80 million that you're going to make back.
Plus,
and then
you
your
avoid
DVD.
Arrested Development problems.
Boom.
Where, like, you can't get all
Yeah,
these people
exactly.
the same
Yeah.
Exactamundo.
Yeah.
It's a shorter window of time.
Tracy Morgan has a show now.
Exactly.
It's
Probably a
back doing
Netflix
movies
show.
and SNL.
I mean, it's pretty presumptive of Krakowski to be like, yeah, do some stuff that'll make Tracy Morgan hang out with me for weeks on end. Oh, really, Jane? You'd like Tracy Morgan to come out of Valhalla to kick it with you?
The only
That's
thing
great.
I want to hear from Krakowski is 10 more seasons of Kimmy Schmidt.
Who's?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I like those commercials that she does for juice. It makes me drink juice.
That's true. She's
And you've
good
been
orange
looking
juice.
great, man.
Yeah.
I loved 30 Rock.
So did I.
Me too.
But I also felt like when it went, it was its time.
It
like,
was
when I
its
watched it, I was
time.
just like, you know what? This is a good time for it to go. I think they've done well, but they've
Yeah.
run their course. And
I mean, Jack's president.
Okay, can
you know,
I-
we
can
come
I
back.
add-
Jack's
can I-
30
president.
Rock. I remember when 30 Rock was the other SNL show. It was 30 Rock was the Castaway one, and Aaron Sorkin's
Yeah,
Studio 60
but
on the
how
Sunset
did
Strip
that
was
work
supposed to
out?
be the hit, and they didn't care about 30 Rock. Nobody watched
Yeah.
it. It was just this whatever, get out of here
Yeah.
show. The Office was like in season 2 or 3. The Thursday night was in shambles. Nobody watched it, and they're
was
like,
a ghost
but
town.
this Sorkin show, that's going to be the hit, and then 30 Rock became the big thing. But
yeah, well, that season of
still-
Sunset Strip was, I actually kind of like that show.
I did too. I watched it. I liked
But it was
Studio
not
60.
funny, certainly. And if you're there was
Very
not,
depressing.
It was very dark and depressing.
Having said that, as much as I love 30 Rock, again, I think they said everything they needed to say. So while I love the show, I don't necessarily pine and say like I need more of it because I feel like they gave me what I want, and I've been through this with Arrested Development. I got what I wanted, and it wasn't.
What you wanted,
Yeah,
but there were
yeah.
problems with that. Can I yes and your pitch a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay. What if this all takes place on Leap Day Williams Day, which I celebrate every year, and I hope that you do too. And that is the thematic through line of the one day that this is happening.
Yeah, I can see that.
So it's an absence of a day.
We get to find out what happened
It's
to
the no
Dennis.
day.
Like I love it's like the Sex and the City movies. They could have just wrapped that all up in like one movie. After the series, like what's Miranda doing now? What's whoever
You
doing
didn't think it
now?
warranted a sequel?
No. But I'm not the demographic, so more power to you.
All right, so we have one enthusiastic response. We have one mixed response, but I'm still riding high on that 30 Rock train. That's probably not going to leave the station. The next Comedy Central roast, however, is 100% going to be Bruce Willis. Yeah.
Well, get ready for a lot of jokes about how he made music albums a couple of times and how he doesn't seem to care in Die Hard anymore.
Makes terrible movies.
Yeah. Get ready to put that on repeat and
A lot of cop-out
Yeah.
puns.
get ready for a lot of really talented comedians to waste their time writing jokes for Justin Bieber that he can't deliver. And yeah, it's gonna be
God.
good. It's gonna be a good show.
It's like a comedy puppet. Like, did you work with Jeff Dunham?
All right, you guys have done a little roasting here and there. Can you give me your best, Bruce Willis? Roast.
Oh, I can't do an impression. But look, I guess my hottest take on this thing is some of our friends are gonna get paid, I guess.
Yeah,
So,
that's gonna be pretty hot.
Yeah.
And all the death
probably
wish
not
jokes.
credited, but paid.
There's gonna be some death wish jokes. I don't have the energy to make one. I didn't have 2 cups of coffee yet.
Well, credit to Spencer yesterday when we was like, oh, they're roasting Bruce Willis. And Spencer's like, that's not going to work because, and this is true, like for a roast to work.
You have to like the person?
Well, no, actually, it kind of helps if you hate the person. But the person who's being roasted has to be like able to take it. Like they can't. It's really uncomfortable if the person being roasted like fights back and is really hostile and combative. Like they have to take the like that's it has to be in good natured.
Well,
even
I mean,
though
they
most
gave
of the
us
time
a
it's-
sample of his humor. He goes, "This ain't the first time I'll be tied to a chair and held hostage by a group of humorless assholes for a couple hours," which I suppose is a Die Hard joke.
Yeah, but he was never tied to a chair in Die Hard, so again, that doesn't
Exactly.
even make sense in the sense of his
That's what
own career. Not like Bruce Willis can't even do a press tour without getting prickly. Just like there's one, I remember with the Screenies a few years ago, there's this clip where they're just like, "Oh, it looked like you really had a good time making the film." He's like, "Oh yeah, really? Yeah, looked like a. Oh yeah, no, yeah, I love doing this. Yeah, I love promoting these movies." Like he can't even do press without getting
no,
prickly
yeah.
and combative. Like so, how is this guy gonna stand up to a roast? It's like, do you understand? You have to be good natured about these things. You have to be, like he needs to get some Bruno juice like flowing
I
to go
don't
back to the
know.
80s and
I
get
think
like
it could feel kind of
humorous
good to
Bruce
watch
Willis
him
back.
stew in it and not like it. Like honestly, I don't know if you guys remember the clip of Colbert at the White House a few years ago.
Oh, yeah.
And he was very direct. But I don't know. There's something about watching something that uncomfortable that also has its pleasure points depending on the situation. Yeah. And I have never interviewed him. I have never had the pleasure to do so. Yeah. Well, he is not nice to press at all, and there's a part of me that's going to love watching this.
This series took a turn when they were like, let's put B and C listers and wash-ups in instead of comics. Like some of the best moments from these roasts were comedians. Greg, I hate this early.
Greg Giraldo.
Thank you. Greg Giraldo on Larry the Cable Guy is the best moment that ever came out of these roasts because it was Greg Giraldo, one of the best comics of his time, just pouring so much rage into why people loved this fake ass guy so much. It is one of the best sets that ever came out of something like this. And you're not going to get those moments out of like Charlie Sheen reading jokes that like the Mean Boys podcast wrote.
Right.
Shout out to the Mean Boys podcast. What's up, Keith?
Yeah.
You're just not going to get moments like that. But if you bring in comedians that built Comedy Central or that.
I mean, you know who I think could roast the hell out of Bruce Willis? John McTiernan. He was he was there when
Plus, you're
Homeboy.
gonna get some great John McTiernan jokes. Out of it.
It's just like I think a lot of the people who've had more experience with him could roast him better than some jerk like me. You know what I mean? Like, hey, you just
They need to get Kevin Smith up there to roast
Yeah.
the hell
Right.
out of him. Like
Right.
that would be great.
Yes.
But to your point, like
People
even
that
when
have
they
had to work with him too.
Yeah, anybody,
Particularly.
yeah. Craft services somewhere
Seriously.
could roast the hell out of Bruce Willis.
I mean, I'm serious. Like, there's like any level of set person that is a secret comedian that would probably do a better job than Charlie Sheen of roasting him.
Good old Sheen.
But even when they have those moments,
Yeah,
like you
him
were
too.
talking about, if go read what Hannibal Buress said to Justin Bieber at the Justin Bieber roast, like what he actually said to him that they cut out for the
Yes.
broadcast. Like that's the kind of moments that you're talking about, Larry the Cable Guy, that they did show back then, but won't show now. Because like Hannibal Buress was literally, look it up. It's literally something just like, this is a great PR move for you, man. Like, it's just like, I don't like you. Like, this is the part where I have to talk about how much I like you. He's like, I don't like you. I don't think you're here because you want to be roasted. I think you're here because you want to make it look like you think you have a sense of humor because everyone hates you. Something along those lines.
Yeah.
It's like, that's great. That's a great roast moment, and Comedy Central, of course, cut it out
That's too real.
because it's too real. Like, but that's what a roast is. It's real. Like that's the whole thing behind a roast is like you cut deep, so like if it's gonna be kind of defanged and declawed, then like what's the point?
You guys are making a roast sound horrible.
Well, I mean,
if you agree to do it, that's
Yeah.
kind of what you're signing up
it's like
for.
those Russian dudes that jump into the water that's like super cold, like the Russian polar bear dudes.
Yeah.
Oh,
They're not
okay.
just Russian.
Oh, well, whatever.
Polar bears are all over the world,
Okay,
man.
fine. The International Polar Bear Group. Anyway, they sell Coca-Cola. So the international group of polar bears that jump in the water, that's what they're in it for. That shock. That feeling, they're in it for that. That's the juice for them. And that's what people who want to roast, they want to get, it's fighters. They want to get punched and they want to punch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why Roast Battle took off and
Yep.
got a Comedy Central show so quick because
Yeah.
people are just like, I just want to watch people be mean to
I
each
just
other.
did a set
and then
last
hug.
night before the roast battle.
How'd you do?
Smashed it.
Hell yeah, you did.
Yeah.
MoviePass. No segue there, guys. So we're going right into it. This is our main story today, and I truly find this one fascinating. So MoviePass, once again, is at it and changing their business model. But I think we're starting to get a hint of what they're ultimately after. And Billy and I have talked about this a bunch, so we'll lay it out for you here. They want to create user-generated Rotten Tomatoes scores with MoviePhone. So in an interview with a Hollywood Reporter, CEO Mitch Lowe, who we spoke to as well, and just really quickly, can I note the fact that if we had interviewed, say, Ted Sarandos like a month ago, and then we got the opportunity to interview him again, you'd be like, well, I'm probably going to be treading some familiar ground here. You could literally interview Mitch Lowe every day and have something to talk about because that's how quick MoviePass is doing shit.
Yeah.
All right. So he said that MoviePass has now purchased MoviePhone. If you guys don't know, MoviePhone is like a place where you can purchase your movie tickets like Fandango. All right.
A phone was something that we used to call our devices.
Yes.
Yeah,
Right.
it got, quote, lost in the AOL empire. So it has 6 to 8 million user base of people that don't know how to switch and use Fandango probably. But Lowe said, quote, our subscribers are telling us that they're the same people that have Yahoo, let's face it.
Yeah.
Our subscribers are telling us that they want to be able to get recommendations or read reviews by MoviePass subscribers. They don't want to go to other sites. They want to have it all in one place. MoviePhone gives us this kind of running start to building content for our subscribers. Okay. THR asked him to elaborate if the reviews be written and aggravated by the MoviePass MoviePhone users. He replied, yes. Reviews and recommendations. Today, many people will go to Rotten Tomatoes. And we find our subscribers have a slightly different and, in fact, a more positive rating of movies. We want to be able to do our own presentation for our own subscribers from fellow MoviePass subscribers that gives them more reflection of people like them who love movies. Okay, hold up.
Hold up. Wait a minute.
Yeah, and this is why. Let's just unpack this business model. I gotta take off my jacket. Let's just unpack this business model.
This is
as
how
far
80s
as we
videos
know
start.
it to date. Now, this is something that I proposed. So we had Mitch Lowe in here, and he was with a member of his company as well. And I said, essentially, it feels to me like what you're doing, because they now are in the business of acquiring movies. They have MoviePass. They have purchased MoviePhone. They are helping with the marketing and the distribution of movies. So let's look at how this rolls out potentially. MoviePass buys a movie or goes into a co-financing agreement for a movie. Then, and they have a piece of a streaming service. Don't even get me started. One-stop shop is what they're looking to do. It's so clear. Then they get some of the kickback and the money from their co-financers and or the distributors of the film to market the movie. Okay, now you're pushing it to your subscription base, right?
Which they do.
Which they
Which they
already
do.
do this. Now you have MoviePhone where you can push it even more, and you are aggregating reviews of the movie that you have a stake in already, and that you're co-distributing, and that you potentially have eventually after its theatrical run, maybe, I'm not saying this has happened yet, but on a streaming service, one-stop shop, completely. Is there a word for this, Dan?
I believe it would be, well, I was thinking con or a fixed game.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be.
Well,
hey, really quick, because people yell at me when I talk about MoviePass because they think I'm a negative Nelly, and I'm just
More of a
trying to
Nancy.
destroy your fun. I'm not.
Maybe.
I'm really not. I want things that seem too good to be true. I truly do. I want to go to 40 movies a month for $10 in the theater, and I want that to work for everybody that really does make movies, and I want it to mean that the movie business is going to thrive because that's all we really want in here, but I don't believe that. And I don't believe that this is a healthy business model. Man, I'm upset. I didn't even know. I don't believe that this is a healthy business model at all for the user. And by the way, on Rotten Tomatoes, the user-generated comments are also really broken because they can't guarantee that those people have seen the film. Same thing as IMDb. So you know what? We have to be responsible adults in this and every other way on the internet and vet our information.
I mean,
we're angry about two completely different things,
Good.
which is great. So get the graphics ready, JT. Let's
deserve-
go ahead.
By the way,
Let's
I
keep going
deserved
on
a
this.
rampage for that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like,
the
that was
model,
a whole
of course,
thing.
the model's not user-friendly. No one's models are user-friendly.
It's not even about being user-friendly. It's
Well, no,
about
no.
being healthy for this industry.
Well,
really.
sure, but of course it's not. But for the same reason that like Uber and you want to sleep in my second room for $50 a night? That
Airbnb,
place,
yeah.
Airbnb. They're all incredibly destructive.
Yes.
But the point is that for the time being, you're going to be like, I get to see how many movies this month? I get to a guy named Ray gets to show up in his Subaru and take me where for how cheap as opposed to a taxi.
I know.
But eventually, by the time everyone catches on, they're all going to be bought and owned and reacquisitioned, and eventually it'll just be called Life Pass, and Mitch Lowe will be standing up on top of a burning civilization with his robot cars and his movies and laughing at all of us.
I want to use those services too because it's just like really expensive to get a cab, and it costs prohibitive. And then what happens is with those services, to your point, is look at San Francisco right now, is that it causes such a pain point in other areas of your life, like rents are skyrocketing,
Because of
and
Airbnb.
they have been for many, many years in San Francisco because of Airbnb, which is an awesome service on face value. But if you look a little, we have to weigh the pros with the cons. We have to weigh the benefits versus the potential loss and the cost of this. And I sound passionate because all of our friends work in this industry. We've given our lives to this industry. We want this thing to thrive. Nobody wants movies to do better. Well, there are people that probably want more, but like we really want movies to do well and thrive. And I wish MoviePass was a savior. I honestly wish it was. I wish that his intentions seemed pure. I think he does love movies. Mitch Lowe was here. He seemed very genuine. No, he really did. But at the end of the day, sorry.
Right. No, there's a very genuine concern about this because yes, I don't necessarily think you can position yourself as a source for information to trust when you yourself have a stake in what movies people go see and when. That's
And Rotten Tomatoes is owned by Fandango, so they have that issue too. But
Rotten Tomatoes is aggregated by, at least the critics score is aggregated by critics. You can see who they are. You can see what they've written. You can see, you can follow them to a third-party source. It's not like Rotten Tomatoes can rig that number because it comes from a third-party source. So, that's one side of it. But then this other little jab, and that I don't like. First of all, we find our subscribers have a slightly different, and in fact, a more positive rating of movies. That's true. General audiences in general are more forgiving of movies, good and bad, than critics because, for any number of reasons. I mean, a critic's job is to process the good and the bad of a film and, hopefully give a nuanced review, which means if it's a great movie with some problems, then a critic might rate it a little bit lower because you're like, well, I'm not going to give it a 10 because my job is to look at it, all aspects of it, and maybe it's a 7.5 instead of 10, but I still really liked it, whereas an audience member may go like, I don't care about the thing, it's a 10 for me. That's fine. That's just how it works. But then this is what really bothers me. We want to be able to do our presentation of subscribers from fellow MoviePass subscribers that gives them more reflections of people like them who love movies. That's what pisses me off. And I hate this narrative. I hate this narrative that critics hate movies and we need something for audiences who love movies because critics hate them. Do you think I sat through the fucking Bye Bye Man because I hate movies? Do you think I went to see that dumbass Truth or Dare movie, which we're going to review today, because I hate movies? Nobody loves movies more than critics. Critics love movies more than anybody else in this world because they sit through all the shitty ones
So
that
you
you don't go
have
see
to.
and tell you not to go see them. They do that because they love movies
And they
we
love
love
you.
you and we want to rescue you from shitty ones. So I hate it when people like Mitch Lowe come out and say like, oh, screw those critics who hate movies. We want to do something for people that love movies. Nobody loves movies more than critics. And all we are ever trying to do is try to give you a guide on which ones you should spend your time and your money
Your
on
hard-earned
seeing,
money.
because we love movies. And if we're hard on a movie, it's because we don't like to see somebody waste time and money on a bad one, especially when they're phoned in junk like Transformers that doesn't even try. So MoviePass,
you're
I'm
voting
a
with your
subscriber.
dollar.
If you want to, try Retribution, this is not a media elite critic. Just take it as customer feedback. Nobody likes movies more than critics, and you're not going to get anywhere by positioning it as an us versus them as critics hating movies, because all that we as critics are audience members who are lucky enough to get paid to actually go and watch movies.
Yes, that is so true.
I just hate that narrative. I hate it so much, and I hate it when guys like Mitch Lowe, who have, are trying to position as this elites us versus them.
It's not a smart idea for your life to become a film critic, by the way. It's very hard.
I wish I had done it for as pure reasons as you guys, but I just like making butter knife Wolverine claws. That's literally the only reason I started reviewing movies.
But in seriousness, most people that do this for a living sunk, like some dumb people like myself, sunk a ton of money in an education that means nothing in any pragmatic sense on earth, guarantees you no kind of income because you're so stupid, crazy in love with this dumb thing, which is just movie. It's just like you are so stupidly in love with it that you will do everything to make that your life and to stop you from making bad choices. So I hate that too. I hate that narrative as well. I hate the critic, the trope of the evil, like bitter critic in movies. I hate all of that.
Yeah, like I said, I think that MoviePass has a lot of positive things to offer. As I said, I'm a subscriber. I go to the movies more because of MoviePass. I do spend more. I'm the person that they flaunt as the reason that AMC and all the theaters should jump on. I am the person that goes to the movies more. I am the person that buys concessions. My girlfriend and I both go. We both buy stuff. Like, we are these people that they say that the MoviePass customer should be, which is the person that goes to 4 extra movies a month and gives money to theaters. But at the same time, it's like you don't have to start like putting people in different corners and playing them off each other to do it. Like, you came up with a great deal and you have to make money. I get it, but at the same time, you don't have to be a dick about it. Like, make money without,
let me tell you where I see it going. It starts with we have our movie Yelp. It's all normal people reviews. And then, like you said, you are the poster child for someone who should like MoviePass.
Not financially, he's not. Just to clarify, Dan is the poster child for the rampant movie lover, but financially, just really quickly, he's their least favorite customer, and Mitch talked about that here. Their most favorite customer is the one that subscribes and then forgets to go for several months because they're paying for Dan. Yeah.
But
that's
at the same time, they're going out and selling me. Like, they're saying they hate me in the press, saying like I'm their least favorite
not that
customer.
They hate. No.
But
they
for
love
them,
you.
but as a customer, they don't want me from a financial standpoint.
From a financial standpoint, they want my brother.
Money. However, when they're selling their business to other people, they're using me as an example of why people should invest in their business because I am the person that's going to go more.
Yeah.
So that's what they have to fix. It's like, I am their worst customer and I am also their best customer because I do everything they don't want me to do and I also do everything they do want me to do. And they're trying to come up this thing in the middle, which is what they're struggling with.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. Purely on this MoviePhone side of things, which is all just going to be user-generated reviews. I promise you the next step is verified user-generated reviews for people like a Dan Murrell and people like that. That will be the next step of this, where they slightly elevate.
Which will bring it all the way back to the actual vetting of critics. You know what I mean?
But on their own terms. Like, we didn't just like gather together a bunch of people from the New York Times. We brought together a bunch of like grassroots great reaction guys and writers. So it still feels like this organic thing they're trying to sell. But I promise you, there will be a MoviePhone blue check mark for certain reviewers. Like
a Joe the plumber.
Yeah,
a guy you can point to.
How the blue check ones don't like movies, but the real fans.
Which gets us right back to where it's a snake eating its own tail.
Those blue check marks are their those blue check marks are our blue check marks, man.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, the one thing I think at this moment, I do agree with the post-apocalyptic scenario that you guys are outlaying. I'm not trying to mitigate those rants. Those are excellent headliner rants. I can't follow them. But what I will say is at this point, a lot of people are just going to look at it as like when you ask the server, hey, is this one good? What are they supposed to say? They're supposed to say this is nasty. This restaurant sucks. I saw 5 rats outside. Run. Is that what they're supposed to say? No.
Sorry, we got
No.
we got a case of the Radfords.
You want some of these rat freaks? It's Ratatouille back there. You know what I mean? Who's gonna say that? Of course, they're gonna come up with this. And I do agree with you guys, though. This is some 1984, our present day fake news. Like, these are fake. This is real. All this sort of pitting against politicizing this just business model. Politicizing your business model feels weird.
But the business model, I mean, and I guess this is the point that I was trying to take. If you follow that through line, like if you have the control of something that you've invested in financially, and then you have the control of how it's distributed, where it's distributed, and the perceived public response to it, that is a very broken and dangerous structure.
And you're positioning that as the real fans.
And then you're saying that's what people
much like
really
Enron
think.
in different places, though, I believe what the guy who invented this jazz is trying to do is go, he's got his vision in his head. He's like Hal Jordan with everybody's rings on his fingers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's got the parallax powers. He's like, I can grow the movie industry to back in how big it was in like the 50s when it was like the way you got entertainment. I can grow it so big that the profits that it will trickle down. Yeah. All evil starts with trickle down, right?
Facebook's like, we're gonna connect the shit out of everybody.
Right, and then trickle down. So I think that's the ultimate Mandarin parallax plan is to get the business so big that small movies like you're saying might be buried by this process by a bunch of goofy ass hats talking about Rampage is great while some great movie flounders. You know what I'm saying? Like that sort of thing can start to happen. But
I think
he
the end
thinks
game,
the business will get so big.
The ultimate end game, sort of, I guess, back to the Uber, Airbnb sort of point is, I think ultimate end game for folks like this, because the business model is just keep growing, man, get those Lambos, invest in that cryptocurrency. Is they own AMC is end game here.
Well, that is not going to happen.
But you know what I'm saying? Like they literally own. They will start getting into pieces of the physical distribution, the actual physical spaces, the buildings. That's where this goes.
I mean, I think again, for those of you that love and enjoy MoviePass, I'm not trying to rain on your parade. I want you to love and enjoy MoviePass. I truly do. Dan is a friend. Of course, I want him to love and enjoy.
I'm not judging. I just promise you there is a binder in the MoviePass office that says that just has a picture of physical movie theaters and a circle, and it says "We own this soon" in crayon. I promise you that binder exists in their office.
I mean, AMC theaters would be very difficult for them to purchase. But having said that, look, I think that you're pointing out one of the issues is that what is the end game here? Like, he is one of the people that helped found Netflix. He saw the future. Mm-hmm. He understood he had a physical video store. That was his business, and then he moved into so he understands. I do think he has sort of prescient vision in certain scenarios about where things are headed. However, his premise and what he's selling is that he's a 100% an advocate of keeping the theatrical experience going, and he seems to mean it. And he seems to really, truly love films. I will say that. But where this is ultimately headed, we can compare to other businesses and other things that have done similar things, and we know where it's ultimately headed, which is that it is going to destroy and crush the established business. Mm.
It's a disruptor.
It's a disruptor, which is not always a bad thing, but frequently is. And either way will have consequences. The theatrical experience is in danger either way. But I hate to bring up Napster, but I'm going to. It had massive, massive, massive consequences. And on the surface, as a user, it looked like just a great thing for you.
Yeah.
It was.
Free music?
It was a great thing for you.
So, but just to clarify for somebody that might be confused after that, what you're saying that basically because they're generating fake, let's for the lack of a better term, fake good reviews of crappy movies, that people will go see crappy movies and not like them,
no,
and just trust the system.
I think it's the idea of they're establishing an untenable system.
Yes.
This is what I worry about is they have so many subscribers because they offer a great deal that no one else can match, kind of like Napster, free music, all you want, all the free music you want, quote unquote. that eventually the other shoe is going to drop. They can't lose money forever, which means it's going to be, I think the end result is, unless they can figure out this business model to keep what they're doing currently, because right now it's benefiting the theaters and it's to the great detriment of them as a business. So they're either going to have to change that, and I think that that's going to probably cause a drop in theater attendance again, or they're going to be in a position of such power that they've got the theater chains over a barrel, which we've seen some hints of already, and it's going to be in the end a detriment to the theater business, because while more people may be going to the movies, the theaters are going to be getting less of those profits, because that's going to start going to MoviePass to subsidize the fact that they can now
and then
not
add
afford
to that,
all these
they
people
have
to not go.
Sorry, I'm sorry. I apologize. Billy's giving me the sign, so I knew this was going to be a big topic where we'd all have. So we'll do 30-second finals, and then we had to do some call-outs, and we're very excited about that. But add to that, if you then provide them with a stake in some movies succeeding versus others, if they grow as large as they want to be, that's a very dangerous position to put them in. And then add to that to put them in the precarious position of saying that we have the authentic view on which movies audiences, F the critics, like. No.
Well, I mean, to the big impact, and it's not just MoviePass, but the big impact to me, it's Netflix, it's all these streaming services, to sort of modernize the Napster comparison a little bit. It's Spotify is the more modern. We pay for Spotify, but artists, it takes so many listens and downloads before you make a penny from Spotify as an artist. And Netflix and all these streaming services and stuff like that are no different. Right now, music artists are being sold. You can reach your fans like never before. Same with like CD Baby, same with Bandcamp, services like that. On the film and TV end, it's look at all this artistic freedom. But we've already seen with numerous writer strikes and stuff like that, wages are down everywhere. We're slowly turning entertainment into a gig economy, just like an Uber or a Lyft. And that's going to be a very, very interesting shift.
And the people, to your point, that are going to be hurt by that financially are the artists, are the people that are making the content. Those are the people that are it's not gonna be the CEOs, and I'm not saying CEOs are inherently evil at all, because I actually really don't believe that. But it is the people that are creating the content that are ultimately going to get screwed, which frankly happens enough in plenty of industries already. I'm looking at you, every single website that has writers working for you for free. Stop it. Okay. In good news and in happy, wonderful, joyous news, and why I was doing my happy dance earlier today.
Find it again.
I'm gonna find that happy dance, and I'll tell you the following reasons why. First of all, dudes, thank you so much. We have already crushed our goals for our event in partnership with Women in Film.
Look at that.
We are going into stretch goals, people.
Boom.
We have to call it, like, first of all, this is a dream come true in a million different ways. Laura Phippen, hi. You are my new best friend in so many ways. First of all, Laura donated $10,000 to choose the Honest Trailer.
Bought
And
herself an
not
Honest Trailer.
only did she do that, which is just remarkable.
We said we'd do whatever.
We said we'd do anything
Lord,
that you asked.
she did my dream Honest Trailer that I was in their office joking about yesterday afternoon, and then an hour later it came true. Doctor Who!
And not just some Doctor Who.
All of it.
All of it.
I mean, if you're going for value, at 10K, you can't
you
make
do
a better
1960
choice.
to present day Doctor
I
Who.
mean, I mean, episode by episode, I'm sure someone can do the math. That's the best value you're going to get. So just from a financial standpoint, that's a very
There was
an
one
astute
guy.
move.
There was someone on Twitter. I can't remember who it was, but they were like, "Man, I was just gonna. If I had 10K, I was just gonna make you guys do tiptoes and just laugh about it." Now I feel very small-minded now.
I mean, Laura's like, let's get the TARDIS in here. You know what I mean? She really slammed it.
Oh, man. Laura, I'm so sorry. I was going to wear my TARDIS earrings in honor of you. I will do so for the next week.
Laura's also. Oh, sorry. Laura's
please.
also one of our regulars and comments on this show every day. She always leaves these amazing, insightful, really kind and thoughtful comments about all the discussions, which have always been appreciated long before this donation. When I realized they were one and the same,
last night I
kinda
went
freaked out.
home and went to my boyfriend because we were trying Roxy, and I found this out at the theater last night. And I went home and I was like, "This is the Laura I've been telling you about. This is the Laura that leaves these comments that I read and I actually learn things from and
you're like, "Why do you
engage
like
with."
this?
And kind of wonder, like, I love that you like us, but you're kind of too good for us in a lot of different ways. Like, she's just incredibly, like, smart and astute. To your point, sorry, Joe, I was getting you.
Oh, no, that was it. So, I mean, she's around, so show her some love.
Yes.
Thank you.
But this is also 100% like this community in total has blown our minds, because yesterday, even if it wasn't for the amazing Laura, we would have gotten to well past what we thought we would be at yesterday.
After a day, yeah.
After
After a
one
day.
day, because the Screen Junkies community continues to amaze us. You guys are wonderful. Thank you so much. You inspire me to try to be a better human being every single day. We want to thank specifically some of our $50 donors today: Claire Ferguson, Kimberly Casey, Andrew Franklin, Alan Bierce, Josh Turok, Kim Cannon, and Jason Bischoff. And if I have abused any of those names, I'll say them again. Better. Send them to me phonetically. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We are going into stretch goals.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. So we're going to tease a couple of things. We're going to do things like Dan has said, I'm putting that TV Fights belt on the line.
I think that could very well be a stretch goal. I also got a text from an old friend of
Oh,
mine
you did?
today.
Ooh.
Tell us more.
It said, was hanging out in a dumpster waiting for some hot tips and heard about your Boffo reception. Would love to swing by if the cheese is there. Your friend Scoops is what it says. So, well, maybe we can coax him out of whatever dumpster he's in, looking for the hottest and the latest Hollywood news.
All I know is
Scoops!
if they do hit some kind of goal and Scoops McGee comes back, I want to be standing right next to him.
Yes. Scoops loves standing next to you because it makes him look funnier. So I think that's a good part of the deal, Joe. But yeah, it may be if we can come to terms on a good stretch goal.
Yeah.
Maybe we can get our old friend Scoops.
I don't know.
back.
Scoops is hard to reach.
Scoops is always on the trail of some hot new lead or something.
Hell yeah.
But you never know. We could get him to drop back in.
This whole thing is so cool. Just a little behind the curtain. We had long discussions as to if 10K was even doable, because we've never asked our fans to do something like this. You know, there was Plus, but that was like your own little nerdy Netflix or whatever. We've never done, benefits, charitable events. So we were kind of like, I don't even know if 10K is doable, but we'll do a nice thank you show if we hit 4K.
Yeah.
And so this is really, really awesome.
Yeah.
This is really cool.
You guys are legitimately amazing. Laura, obviously, I've special place for you in my heart, because man, I've been trying to get them to watch Doctor Who for like 2 years, and you did it for us. You did it for us and the world and all of the Whovians and the TARDIS and timey-wimey. Oh, you were my companion of my heart.
I'm excited to see the Doctor and the Companion fight these Terrence Malicks or whatever it is that they do. Really, yeah.
The salt shaker people.
God damn
Yeah,
it.
the Malicks.
Daleks.
Yeah,
The Black Dahlias from the future.
I'm pretty sure it's Malik.
Don't wink. Don't wink.
Yeah, don't wink. Blush, right? This one called Blush, I think.
Ah! This is what
They got a sonic hammer.
This is what my boyfriend does when he wants to sleep on the couch. He confuses Cylons and Cybermen. They're two different things, and they're from two very different franchises. Thank
Which
you.
we will
Thank
soon
you.
find out.
But
Yeah.
in truth, this community, you guys, amazing, amazing, amazing. Every single one of you that watches us every day. I don't deserve you. We don't deserve you. But God, we're so grateful for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And we will see you soon.